Recently in Tucson, Arizona, last Saturday, at a Safeway parking lot, a very serious incident happened. A man showed up and shot 20 people. He killed 6 and injured 14. One of the people that he shot was Gabrielle Gifford. Many people call her Gabby. Gabby was 40 years old and was a member of Congress in the House of Representatives as a Democrat. When the shooter showed up to shoot her, he ended up shooting her close range in the head. Many people thought that she had died, but she hadn't died yet. She was rushed to the hospital on Sunday morning. They did surgery. She's still laid out, and many people suspect possible permanent brain damage. In fact, recently, in 2006, Gabby won her seat in Congress. This is her third term right now. In 2007, she met a man, a former NASA astronaut and former Navy pilot, named Mike Kelly. She believed in different human rights, including gay rights. 6 of the people who died, one of which include John Morrill, who was 63 years old. He was a director for the federal court system, Supreme Court system in the Arizona area. Another person was Gabrielle Zimmerman. She was 30 years old and was a good friend of the Congresswoman. She had led her campaign by contacting many people as a representative for Gabby. Another person that died was Darwin Stoddard, who was 86 years old. He was retired, and in fact, his wife also got shot too, but she was shot in the leg and survived. Anyway, he was retired. He cleaned and fixed churches. The story didn't really include whether or not he was a retired pastor or what his occupation was. We don't know. Another person that died was Christina. She was 9 years old, and she was a student at Mesa View Elementary School. The reason she went that day was because she wanted to learn more about politics and was recently elected to student council. In fact, a little tidbit about her was she was born on 9/11. 2 other people that died included Dorothy, who was 76, and Phyllis Shex, and she was 79 years old. The shooter was a 22-year-old college student named Jerry Lee Langther. Plus, the police were looking for another man, too, that they had seen in the movies. Interpreter mistake, that was seen in the security video surveillance cameras. Anyway, the 22-year-old shooter, after shooting so many rounds, had to reload his gun. As he was doing that, the crowd tackled him, and then that allowed the police to arrest him. Many people are very upset about the different things that are going on right now. It's a wonder as far as, all the criticism going back and forth right now in the United States, and how people are being very, very negative towards each other. It really looks like Arizona is one place of main focus where that kind of thing is happening. Opinions have changed quite dramatically, and I kind of wonder as far as why that's happened. President Obama also was a good friend of Gabby and was very disturbed when he learned about her being shot. Gabby supported many laws, including supported immigration laws that allowed illegals to come into the country. She also voted for the health care law that passed recently. After the health care bill went through, Sarah Palin has a website in which she doesn't support that law, but on her website had a U.S. map that had X's on any state in which their representatives had voted for the law. In fact, many of those states have had violence recently, including broken windows and the recent gun violence in Arizona. Many messages that have been on different social media include not not supporting the law and the boundaries that have been set forth in the laws relating to immigration. One thing that had bothered Gabby was during her recent MSNBC News interview, when the correspondents had showed her this map that was on Sarah Palin's website. She had said she had never seen that before, and she was very disturbed by it. But she definitely made sure to be careful after seeing that and noticing all the violence that's been going on. Gabby had a few encounters, a few different problems. In one event, a man had snuck a gun in his pants, walked into a convention meeting, and luckily the gun had fallen out and he was arrested right away. One thing I suspect, though, is part of the violence towards Gabby was because of her recent slight margin victory against Mike Kelly. This person, Mike, had asked for a lot of financial support from people, and even had a photo op of himself in army clothes holding an M16 rifle. I wonder if that's a little bit of an influence, but I doubt it. In 2009, in the United States, those without green cards, illegal immigrants, decided to sue the state. One judge had let this happen, and a month later, this had gone through a month earlier, and then 24 hours later, after making this decision, he was shot. He was shot in the parking lot. He was the one that died. The reason that it happened was because the retired judge was finished remodeling and fixing the church and decided he would go to this event, say hello to his friend. Because he showed up, he was in the line of fire and was shot and killed. After Sarah Palin had heard this story, she had said that she's very sorry for the pain and suffering the families were going through, and that she would pray for them. But she didn't say anything about her website and the U.S. map that she had on there with all the X's. The shooter actually, one of the guns he had was a 9mm Glock, the same as that the police used. He had added a 30-round clip to it, and had more clips, so he's ready to reload right away. Plus, he also had a knife in his pocket. Before in 2007, him and Gabby actually had an encounter. He had asked her a lot of questions, and afterwards he had told his friends that she was not fit to run. After that, he went and tried to volunteer to join for the Army, but the Army would not accept him. As far as the reasons why the Army would not accept him are unknown. The shooter also had many different social medias out there and articles written, including videos too, as far as all of the things that he was against. He focused on the U.S. debt issue and how the English language should be the standard language in the United States. Many different things in his article. Very strange, and he really talked about how he didn't trust the government, and he had showed different videos relating to this. After his college had seen this, they suspended him. He went to a college. He started in 2005, up until 2010, fall of 2010. In 2010, they suspended him because of all these different actions that he was taking. On October 4th, finally, he had quit. From February to September 2010, there was 5 incidents where the police had showed up because of his disruptions during class. Finally, after the 5th time, the college had kicked him out for good. One woman that was in his math class was interviewed by the press, and she had talked about the different rantings and raves that he had during class time. The shooter was told by the college that he needed to go to a psychologist to make sure that he wasn't a danger to himself or other people. As far as what happened in those meetings with psychologists, we don't know, or even whether or not he went to a psychologist. It really looks like between the ages of 21 and 22, his mental health had really declined. We're not sure if he had schizophrenia or what, but obviously the situation was very terrible, and we'll see if Gabby makes it or not. And if she does make it, whether or not mentally she'll be okay. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.